Hello and welcome back to another episode of us doing CSS Grid, and in this episode we're going to be continuing on working on kind of corrections / adjustments to the things that we have done for the previous part. Basically we have created is it this one? Yep. We have created this, and we have already found different and better ways of doing things from the solutions. So some of them were, give me 1 second, us having a nav tag, allowing the browsers, the people and everyone else basically know that this is going to be a navigation area, then having a UL to identify that we're going to have a list. So I changed both of these from divs to UL and nav, and then also we took out the container containing all of the information that we have here, and in which I have I'm not even sure. It wasn't really necessary for me to have that, because I could just have I could actually this was what I used to have, the container display grid, but now we don't have that anymore and we don't need that anymore, and that's still gonna work perfectly. And here all we have done is we have just made this the main nav and added a media section, which means that whenever we shrink this down to smaller than 600 pixels, it's going to change in size, the navbar, which is amazing. So that's all that we have done so far, so let's get on to the next video and see what else we can sort of adjust if we need to. Hopefully we don't, but there still might be a few things. Let's have a look.
Till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left.
Okay, welcome back. So, quick update. What have we done? Well, as you can see, not too much, but still a bit. So we did have display flags for the red one here, and justify content center. But we have also taken away the padding, and this is because of this new feature or new way of measurement that we have discovered or we have learned, which is VH, which is view height, I think, and the number between it is from 0 to 100 basically in percentages, and that's why we had to align the items in the center as well, because it's not padding, so it's not being padded from the top and the bottom as well, which is neat. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, let me show you in basics. So we have the whole page, right? Take this off and look, it changed sizes. As you can see, if I change the height, this changes, the text changes with it. So if I move like this, it doesn't change, but if I move like so, as you can see, the height adjusts. So it's always going to be 50% of what we have on the page. So, which is quite cool, and it makes it really responsive, so you can move it about, and you can have a really responsive website, which is quite cool. So that's basically it for this episode, or well, this video tutorial. So I'm going to go into the next one, see how that one goes, and then it seems like we will be finishing off shortly. Well, not yet, but not much left really, so let's get going. See you in a bit.
We'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Okay, so basically this is where we want to get to. So as you can see, this is what the teacher has done, and you know, it's really responsive, really lovely. This is where we are now. So we are getting there, but as you can see, the objects are still, you know, not, you know, the way they are supposed to be, really. So everything else is good. Everything else, perfect. Just the fact also, the one thing that, you know, did make a change is us having image and then zone as well, which makes us, you know, have it like pop out and, you know, look a bit neater. But the issue is, which I'm trying to reverse, so basically this is what he has done, and obviously it's working for him, so I kind of want to reverse engineer his one to figure out what is kind of wrong with my one. So that's the basic plan in theory, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, I'm gonna try to reverse engineer it as much as I can, really, but we'll see how it goes.
Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat.
Okay guys, well, figured it out, and in all honesty, it was a bit stupid. I could have figured it out, but it wasn't one of them things where it's like, oh, you were dumb about it. It was just one of them things that I kind of didn't really expect. So, you see, well, let's have a look at what I have had. I know it looks a lot different, but it's basically the same thing to what he has said. Can you see the difference? The difference is that, you know, my class was inside of my image, and, you know, he's sourcing it from a different, you know, his actual folder, instead of just, you know, having it right there next to him. But also, he's having it all inside of a div, and I'm not. And the issue comes from the fact that with my one, the images were inside of the containers, whereas here it's the divs that are inside of the container, which have images inside of the divs. And that's why when he set the color of the box to be grey, it was a whole div that became grey, and he didn't have to set, you know, like anything like padding. And if he did set padding, then I just made the image smaller and not expanded the size of the image, and that's basically where I've gone wrong. And I don't know, that makes sense, but I can't, well, in all honesty, because I always use the div so much, I kind of just wanted to avoid it. And in my head I was like, there's not really a need for a div, because, well, I wasn't specifically told that, you know, divs are necessary for this. So I was like, well, hey ho, I'm not going to use a div, but I guess I needed to. Anyway, I've messed around quite a lot with this, and I mean, I kind of have copied what he has done for this part, but as you could see, I've had everything. The only two things I didn't have the same as he did was the fact that, I mean, he did this, which I don't think was too necessary, but we have that. And then he also, you know, had the zone inside of it, so whenever you hover over these, they actually like make like a 3D effect, and put the divs in front. Other than that, he's done the same thing I've done, basically. So I'm not really discrediting my work, and that's why I'm just gonna leave it as is, because I've had too much troubles with it. And then, like, I mean, I figured it out, so it wasn't just like I copied it and I was like, oh, it's done. I don't know how, but it's done. So I know my error, and now I'll watch the, I don't think there's much left. Let me have a quick look. Someone to load for some reason. Let's refresh that. Obviously it's not working when I want it to work. Okay, so it loaded. So we are going to be going on to we have watched the cover, and we have just project grid Have we watched that? Yes, no, so we are just watching this one. I'll continue watching it because it seems like there's still a bit left, and then get back to you whenever, really.
Through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go.
Okay, so basically not much that we have done, except that part where we just added the footer, so you know, more semantic, and well, I had it on the left, but he's put it on the, you know, in the middle, so I mean I'll put it in the middle as well. Wasn't too much of a change, so I just swapped it out and put text align center, and now it's in the center, so lovely stuff. Basically the next part is just, you know, telling us what we're going to be doing, and then there's just one 7-minute video about us making our websites look even better, and then there's just one resource, and then one last video. So we're going to do that, and see you in a bit.
Turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon. Turn us to thousands.
Okay, welcome back. So, as you can see, what we have is a lot different. Well, not much, but just quite a bit. First of all, what have we done? Well, we've made a top bar for it to be blue. Then we added this image into the like header sort of area, whatever you call it, by, you know, copying the image from the starter guide video or file, I mean. And then we have gone up here and then made the top bar sticky, so it will always, you know, be on the top even when we scroll. Then we have you have the container, and you know, this is, you know, the container now, and probably of padding on the top, just because obviously this top part was cropping a bit of it off. And then now that's white. And then what else have we got? We have, that's basically it, except the last part, which is we have made it so that the boxes, when we hover over them, they rotate 5 degrees negative, which you can see here. So now this is, you know, us making a website look, you know, a lot better just in a short amount of time. And basically, you know, this demonstrates how quickly you can, you know, get all of these sort of things, you know, done, and you know, get productive. And I mean, as you can see, it's not perfect, but you know, with just messing about, you can make this website look really pretty and whatnot. So lovely stuff. And now I'll have a look at the last 2 steps. Okay, well, we are done. CSS grid, yes, get 10. So basically, what have we gone through? Well, first of all, this is just literally listing all the things we have basically learned, which is really cool. You know, we can, like, box models, colors, size units, all of this, epic. You know, we can you know, go through all of this if you need any hints. So amazing. Let's no, that's, is that like for me to go just back to the original? There we go. And you know what? Because it is quite important, we are gonna put it somewhere there. There we go. So in here we can, you know, use all of the knowledge and just refresh up on it if you need to. Let's cross these two off. And lastly, in the last video we have just gone over the truth about CSS, which is that you don't actually need to learn everything, which I already knew, and which is why for some instances, like even in the last step, I could have gone really more in depth, and like I did figure out where I've gone wrong. Don't get me wrong, I figured out every possibility where I've gone wrong, but I didn't go back and was like, okay, let's reset the whole thing again with all my newfound knowledge, because it's not pointless. It's just that there's better things I could be spending my time on, while also learning about the things that I'm still lacking on in CSS and HTML. So while I'm going to be learning more JavaScript and everything else, I will also be learning HTML and CSS along the way. So that's why during my learning I'll still be learning about all the languages I've previously covered, but at least this way I'll have an efficient way of going about it. So that was the last part. Lovely stuff, which means that now we have completed 10, including the JavaScript, sections, which is absolutely lovely. Well, I mean, there's still quite a bit to go, but good progress, not to say the least. So the next part is going to be looking at careers of a web developer, which don't seem very long. I think it's more like have a look at this, have a look at that, and whatnot, and just maybe some like life experience, knowledge, whatnot. And then afterwards we're going to go into DOM manipulation, which I have not a clue what that's about. So all fun stuff, but that was it for today. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, whatnot, and see you next one. Bye bye.